grab everything.
Yeah, you just grab everything. I don't understand. Yeah, it's the same.
Like when they're going out on runs, I don't understand. You just grab everything. Don't
Pretty
ever
much.
have to go back to the same place again.
And if you grab everything, and then at some point you have to let some stuff go, that's when you decide what you should not take with you anymore.
Yeah.
Only then and there. You should be like, okay, I can't take this with me anymore because of, whatever, because we have no more room in the car or whatever, or we're running out of gas and we got to walk from here or something.
Yeah, because
But
it's not to take what you need. You need it all.
yeah,
Like, you
pretty
need
much.
everything.
That's the reason why you're there. Yeah, that's why it's out there.
And it's all going to run out.
Exactly. Yeah. Or at least hide it somewhere, too. That's another way to do it. I mean, I'd be so good at the post-apocalypse.
Well, they had that one guy who hid everything in underground in little holes, I guess.
Hats off to him. Hats off to him.
And to Spencer, who was able to read the Latin.
Spencer literally found that out of fluke. We even said it when that episode aired. When he literally got out of the car, Father Gabriel's walking back.
Oh,
I'm gonna run into the forest and somehow find something to contribute to the saviors.
I forgot about that a little bit. I don't want to think about it.
I know. We're looking back on this season. This season was a huge wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I know you're thinking about Miley Cyrus.
I am.
I know. You're a huge Miley Cyrus fan, and that's why I said it, and I wanted to bring that out.
Sorry, I'm envisioning something right now. I got to.
Do tell.
No,
Oh, come on.
This is for me.
Oh,
for me alone.
fine.
Tom says, "How much longer do you think the show can last? I know you've talked about actors wanting to leave the show before, but how much longer do you think the people will be interested in zombies, or is the well already running dry?"
Oh, the well. Is he? No, he's not. I'm sure he's not addressing the well.
No.
The episode.
Kirkman says he sees this show going up to at least season 12. Interested to hear what you guys think, and also what each of your relationships are towards the zombie genre. So much in that question.
There is so much to that question.
So let's break it down. First thing, how much longer do you think the show can last?
It should only last for at least, in my opinion, for everything they have to address. I feel like it should only last 2 more seasons, especially depending on how everything's drying up. The walkers are looking like they're rotting at the core.
Yeah.
So, and we spoke about this already. Like the science of the walkers, have they prolonged it so far, and even ratio to science. They've already. Of course, there's an exaggerated aspect to how long the walkers have lasted thus far, but that ratio is edging very close to extinction too.
Yeah. Well, there's always new ones being made.
That's true.
But how much not that many people left
exactly
on the planet,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, how much more could they, unless all of a sudden these camps are overloaded. They had these camps that have been locked up and all of a sudden start exploding like they do in Z Nation. I don't see how.
That's the thing. Even if there are zombies, is that still interesting? I mean, the zombies at this point aren't even that interesting.
And that's why I like zombie. I'm appreciating Romero's film so much more with how it's just a film. It's a time and a place, and they're a lot more relevant in an hour and a half than they are for 8 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting idea, and it's working fine in the comics to see,
right?
How people survive and what happens when the movie ends. Seeing what people have to go through. But I don't know. Kirkman did say, as he says here, Kirkman says that he sees the show going up to season 12 at least, because by then it'll reach issue 200 of the comics,
right? And
at this rate, there's no end to it.
But I mean, if the ratings go down in any way that they did this season, there's a good chance that they might not even see season 10.
But how low do the ratings have to go? Because Breaking Bad had 4 million at its peak, and they kept making that show.
Well, that's I don't know.
4 million.
I have no answer for that. But I mean, if the numbers become intolerable, I mean, there's a chance that they can't end it very well.
No,
you don't think so? I believe so.
I feel like they'll end it. I hope they'll end it well. They can't just leave it hang, especially if they're
I want to bring something. Sorry, I mean to, but I want to bring something up. Okay, Breaking Bad, they kept making because they had characters to follow and characters to conclude and characters. They had they had a plan for a story. That's the reason why I continued.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead, okay, with the basis of the comics, they're pretty much winging most of it anyway. These characters have overstayed. A lot of their characters have overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And the storyline has as well. So
But it's not necessarily about storylines anymore.
Every show should be about storylines, and that's the thing, and that's what we don't want it to be that way. Of course, it's about the money right now, but storylines. I mean, this show should have at least should have lasted up until now, and it should have come to a conclusion. It should have come, and maybe have spin-offs, not continue the same narrative over and over again.
Yeah, because at a certain point you're like, they've already done it. They've repeated themselves
pretty much
countless times.
Yeah, Rick has gone back and forth on his own views like at least 4 times.
Yeah, and I think that this kind of storytelling could have worked, but it didn't necessarily work for this. I would like to see it go on because I'd rather have it than not have it. But
really,
seasons,
would you?
That's a lot. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a horror. We're horror faithfuls. That's why we watch it. We like zombies in general.
Yeah, that's what he's getting into. Interested to hear what you guys, what your relationships are towards the zombie genre.
Well, for the sake of the genre, that's why I want to keep watching it. Though I don't watch Z Nation, so I mean, I don't know. There's a bit of a preference. I do like the characters better in Walking Dead, but even that, it's not becoming. It's. I mean, we could talk about how they're not well written in a certain way too. I mean, like, of course, I love the characters. Like, I love Michonne, Daryl, Carl too. And even though as much as we want to criticize it, and I do like Rick too, and Father Gabriel.
You like all the characters.
I mean, I do like the A-list characters, but even like it is becoming a lot of it's becoming redundant though. It is becoming to that point, and I don't want to hate it for that. Right now, I'm at the tip of my rope. Just thinking like they've done everything, they've addressed everything. Something should come to an end eventually. Yeah. And that's the way I feel. And then if we're talking about returning characters, I mean, recently, Sonequa Martin Green, she signed on for a Star Trek series. Yeah. So what is her demise coming closer in The Walking Dead? This is Sasha's character coming to a demise.
Zombies in space. Is what's coming.
I would definitely watch that.
But he's not dead. He's just missing, and he is on another show.
Is he?
Yeah, I forget the name of the show.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Maybe that's the reason why they did too. Oh, that's likely the reason why they decide not to kill him off. They're like, oh, we want to keep him on.
They got to be careful how many black characters they kill off now. They've done too many in the past.
They've come off racist in the past.
Yeah. So it's like we're just gonna have them disappear for a bit. I don't know. I've always really loved zombies, and I used to watch everything that had to do with zombies. I remember going to HMV, and I would just see what new zombie films are there, or which ones have I not seen, and I would just buy them. Some of them were terrible. Some of them were just the worst.
What was the worst zombie film I've seen? I'm trying to think. Even like the worst. Well, okay, obviously I think Survival of the Dead is probably the worst.
No way. You haven't seen the worst then. You haven't seen the worst.
That's not the worst. That comes to mind.
Like, it's not great out of Romero's. It's one of the worst.
Exactly, for sure. I'm just trying. Well, it's frustrating too because it is a part of the Romero, and it frustrates me. But of course, there's worse zombie films.
There was Day of the Dead remake.
Remake, that's true, yeah.
That was one of the worst ones. We had zombies crawling upside down on the ceiling tiles.
All right.
Vomiting, green, vomit. But, see, I used to watch all these. Right. And I would enjoy them to some level. But as soon as Walking Dead came out, and they were just zombie movies being made, probably, 20, 30 a year, just piling them on.
Yeah, because
keep track of them.
Yeah, because the zombie craze, I think I wasn't enjoying it. Because I think at some point I was enjoying The Walking Dead only because out of the entire zombie craze, The Walking Dead was doing it properly. Yeah. But now that's not the case anymore. The craze is down. They are the only players in the sandbox right now.
Yeah. Well, the appeal of it too was going to be, zombie films have always gotten just like a back seat to movie making and all, and then entertainment. And now. Well, and then we had Dawn of the Dead remake, and that was like, oh man,
that was a while ago. That
was a while ago, but not a while ago in comparison to when The Walking Dead started. It was
World War Z, World War Z came along too.
Yeah, but that was post Walking Dead.
Okay, yeah,
so I'm fine. About you had that, and then it was like, oh man, zombies are going to be cool again. And they tried to make a few more things, and they were pretty bad. And so it took a research.
Even Romero can't even make his current. Yeah, there's been articles on he can't even make his own zombie film anymore with the funding of certain studios. Yeah. I feel like if he fan backs it, he probably could do something good.
Yeah, well, I think his son fan backed a zombie film.
Oh, did he? I would have so put some money into that. I always regret not funding Rob Zombie's 31 to get something out of it. But even by the result, like it's a shame too because I don't hate the film, but for it to be fan backed and came out the way it did, and I was like, oh man, they could have been so much better than this. You're taking people's money plus the sources that you have to make a really good film that you already had before, and you go and come out with that. That's
he had no limits. He had fans. Exactly, they wanted him to go out and do something with no limits, and he really held himself back. I think
it was a little off track from the zombie genre, but it was still needless to say.
Rob Zombie, he's on track.
He's a part of the zombie. He's a part of the zombie genre.
Yeah, Robert Zombie is. I think is relevant in at least the name.
But even to say, I mean, like it's true. No, I really feel like the zombie genre has in a way overstayed its welcome. Yeah. I believe so. There's no way they're going to come up with anything new and be like, oh, yeah, we have. However, apparently, Train to Busan, a Korean zombie film, has revitalized the genre. Apparently, that's according to and it was playing at Fantasia this in July, and I completely missed my chance to watch it. I'm really going to try to make my time to see it because apparently at least before the end of the month, because you could say it's part of a whole New Year resolution kind of thing. So. Apparently Train to Busan is a very good film, or at least contemporary film that brings back the zombie genre where it should be.
Yeah, I mean there are a few good ones being made. It's just hard to pick them out.
It's true.
Out of the weeds.
But Train to Busan is highly regarded so far. So if anybody's listening right now, and especially to who was the feedback? Who was the name of the person with the feedback? Tom, if you have a chance, do check that out. And if you want to let us know, even by the next time you want to give us feedback, do let us know and let us know what you think, because maybe this is the kind of film that could probably bring back the genre.
It's heavy praise for someone who's not seen it.
I know, but like
it could be terrible.
I swear to God, but I have not seen any negative reviews for it.
Yeah,
I have not seen it.
You don't want to have negative reviews of foreign films. Nobody ever has negative reviews.
There is negative reviews. Of course, there is.
They don't want to seem dumb. So
no, I don't know, man. No, I don't. Maybe I know what you're saying, but I don't think so.
Well, I saw a Japanese zombie film back in the day, and it was called Stacy's, and it was they wouldn't call them zombies. They were called Stacy's.
Okay, why?
And I paid probably $40 for it.
What? Why?
Because it was like an import that they had.
Why would you pay for that?
Because I would buy every zombie movie.
Oh, that was at the time where... Yeah. Okay, fine.
And I brought it home, I watched it, and I just regretted it so much.
Well, that's your lack of research. Why would you pay $40 for a foreign film?
I didn't have internet. so I just...
You could even ask a HMV worker who had nothing to do that day, and you could say, what do you think of this film?
No one's seen that movie. Oh, but then I was so determined to not own it anymore and get my $40 back, I took the shrink wrap packaging that I had destroyed, but I kind of glued it back together and then melted it over a burner on the oven. Okay. Just to make it look like it was sealed.
Did it work?
I didn't watch it. It did work. It did.
Okay, so that's a better storyline than what you originally wanted to tell of a really crappy foreign zombie film.
Yeah, that was when I started being wary of what I bought. I think the last zombie movie I bought that I hated, and I really started doing some research, was the Day of the Dead remake.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
with,
most remakes.
Ali Larter? Was it Ali? No, not Ali Larter.
I don't remember.
No. I can't. It was not Ali Larter. I don't even know who that is. It was someone. I forget his name. Some singer who shouldn't have been in the movie.
I didn't regret any of my zombie. I feel like I've been on the money for owning certain zombie films. So even for World War Z, like I liked a lot of what it did, even though despite of what Romero thinks, which is, I don't disagree with him to a certain degree. I mean, just in a certain way, but having a huge blockbuster zombie film at that level was still interesting to see.
Yeah, it was nice that Brad Pitt, took an interest in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
At least.
Well, I didn't not solely that.
More attention to it,
but not just solely that. Like I was actually, contrast to what we had this season so far for The Walking Dead. I felt there was a lot of tension in World War Z than there was in this entire damn season of The Walking Dead.
I just can't get behind I can't get behind World War Z because Matthew Fox's part was cut so brutally.
Oh God!
Do you even know who was in it?
Not really. Which character was he?
He was a helicopter pilot.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
He didn't even get a name.
The thing is, when I watched that film, I didn't know who Matthew Fox was because I didn't start watching Lost yet. So
Party of Five.
Fine, whatever.
Any of that, but no, his part was brutally cut because he had a much bigger role.
I'm sure he did.
Destroyed it.
Well, it's Brad Pitt producing. He wants the attention all on him. So
yeah, that's it. Are you ready to move on from that?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Last thing, Jackie. There's a little spoiler. I put little asterisks beside it, but it's comic book spoilery.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It wouldn't stop me from reading a comic even if I know what happens later.
Yeah, not even really spoilery. It's a whatever. I'm gonna read it out. Hey guys, not too sure if you already heard, but there's a speculation that the Triple P card, which